Welcome back, career changers. Today I want to talk about the FPA Externship. If you haven't seen already, the externship is open for registration. If you don't know what the FPA Externship, it is a program to give you a taste of what it's like to be a financial planner and to be in the financial planning industry. And so it was birthed out of pretty much the pandemic. When the pandemic occurred and no one was allowed to go outside, um, there was an FPA member who had the idea to do this externship so that those people who would typically have an internship available to them could still get experience in the industry and still earn experience hours. And so her name is Hannah Moore. She is really a champion for the financial planning profession. And so she developed this idea and partnered with the FPA, and now we have the FPA externship. And so it is open to anyone. You don't have to currently be a financial planner. You don't have to even have completed a financial planning program. If you're interested in financial planning, you can join. If you're already an established financial planner, you can join. You do have the opportunity to get 180 experience hours by doing the externship. If you're already a financial planner, if you already have your CFP, you can get the CE credits as well. And so, from my experience, it was an incredible program. I've gone through it twice now. The first year was a lot better for me than the second year. Not to take anything away from the second year, but I think the first year I was really all into it. The second year, just to be completely transparent, I was more so just trying to get the hours. And I don't know if that's because I was also studying for my CFP exam at the time. So I just really had the mindset of just do whatever you need to do to get the experience hours and be done. But the first year, I was really, really just involved with all of the activities involved with the externship. And so you're probably like, well, what are those activities? So each week there's a different topic within financial planning. So I believe the first week we went over client onboarding as well as cash flow management. And then the next week, I think, and don't quote me, I mean, it may be different this year, but I'm just saying what I went through. But I think the next week was like insurance, and then we went into investments. Then we went into tax planning, educational planning, and estate planning. I don't remember any other topics being covered, but I could be wrong. There were also, um, first of all, some of the sessions are pre-recorded. So you'll go through these lessons. It's kind of set up in an interview style. So you'll have a financial professional that's already in the industry. And typically you'll have Hannah Moore, who was the creator of the externship, interviewing that professional about the topic that they're discussing. And so from the professional, you're able to hear how they approach things regarding that specific topic. And then later on in the week, you're able to have office hours with that financial professional as well. Typically, you're going to get the perspective of 2 to 3 speakers during each week. And so it's good to hear the different perspectives that are out there and that are offered. And it's good to be able to ask your questions to those various professionals. The workload, I would say it's a lot, but it is manageable. Like I said, when I did the externship last year, I was studying for the CFP exam and I was taking it in July. And I know for some people that deters them from signing up for the externship. But like I said, I thought it was manageable. I was able to still pass the exam, still complete the externship, and it was doable. You typically have about 2 to 3 assignments each week. Some are more labor intensive than others. I think the first year I did it, the investment assignment was the longest assignment and the most in depth. It took a few hours. Um, but typically, you could probably get the assignments done in an hour. Um, and you also have like a 2-week window after the externship is over to get all your work turned in. There are also just other sessions that are typically pre-recorded, talking about things like different designations you could get, different career paths you could take within the financial planning industry, what you can expect to be paid, just different topics on questions that you may have as someone who is interested in the financial planning. Those are definitely addressed. There's also an open forum kind of situation on Thursday nights where you're able to meet with people that are local to your area and then meet with the larger externship population as well. And so you're able to discuss whatever questions you have, whatever issues you have, whatever, you know, topics that you want to discuss during that time. So that's pretty cool as well. I didn't really participate in those sessions last year, but I did the first year I did the externship. And if I decide to do it again this year, I'll probably participate in those sessions again. Um, but it's great. The 180 hours of experience hours, I will say that is only if you're doing the standard pathway. Now, as I told you in a previous video, I started getting my hours before I took the CFP exam and before I was actually working in the financial planning industry. And so, because I only had standard hours by doing that, I kind of got stuck on the standard pathway, um, even though I'm now working full time in the industry. So I just want to forewarn you about that. If you're starting from zero, I just want to forewarn you about that. I don't know if it is necessarily worth it to get hours beforehand if you do have the intent of doing the apprenticeship pathway. I highly suggest you call the CFP board to get clarification on all of that. I don't work for the CFP board. I'm not affiliated with the CFP board. Only they can tell you what's going to happen with your hours. So I don't want to lead anyone astray. um, what else about the externship? The externship takes place, it starts typically in June and then goes through the end of July. And then, like I said, you'll typically have like a 2-week window after it's over to finalize any work. Another good thing that comes out of the externship is one of the sponsors is eMoney. So you are able to complete eMoney certification. I did that my first year as well. Now that was a lot of work. And maybe that's also why it wasn't so hectic for me last year, because I didn't, once you complete it, you don't need to necessarily do it again. So I didn't have to do all that eMoney work. Now the eMoney certification was a lot of work. I think it was worth it. I don't use eMoney in the practice that I'm affiliated with now, so I don't think it's a waste, but I'm not using it right now. But I do like eMoney. It was well worth getting to know. I think that is about it, though. I think if you are interested in financial planning, even if you've never done it, it is well worth it just to get your feet wet, to get an idea of what you would be doing. Of course, it's not as intense as what you're actually doing in the profession, but it's giving you a good taste of what's out there and what you would be doing. I highly recommend the program. I think if you have any questions, you could just drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer whatever questions you have. You can also go to the FPA's website and read about the externship. But I just wanted to give you my own personal perspective as someone who has gone through the program twice now. You may see me go through it for a third time this year. I haven't quite decided yet. I will have my CFP designation by the end of the year without doing the program. So it's not something I necessarily need to do. But I did enjoy it. I do love hearing from the speakers. It's not the same speakers every year. You may have one or two duplicates, but typically, so far from the 2 years I've been in it, there have been different speakers. So that is always good for me. I love hearing the perspective of other people. I love hearing things I can try and things I can do to be a better financial planner, to get clients, and all that jazz. So, if you are interested, go ahead and look more into it. It is $299. The cost is $299. In the past, it was $199. So, the cost has gone up. It is still worth it. Quite honestly, they could charge thousands of dollars for this program. But I just know Hannah's background. I don't know her personally, but I know that it is important to her that things are accessible. And so the program is definitely worth more than $299 though. So I don't want the price to deter anybody. It is well worth it. That's it. I hope that you continue on this journey of becoming a financial planner. If there's any way I can support you, please let me know. If you have any questions from my experience with the externship, drop them in the comments below, and look forward, hit that subscribe button to see what's coming next. Thanks.